With the new most difficult hero in the game, to the removal of marks, a new patch is finally here on the advanced server. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video we will look at everything that came with patch note 2.1.64. So wait no more and let's get straight into. First, let's check on the new hero Hirara. She's an assassin type hero and her skill combos are way more difficult than you think. If you want to know how her skills and passive works, then you should definitely check this video out. Alright, let's start with the hero adjustments. First up is Bane, but this one is not really a balance change. The developers have revamped the visual concept of his L skill and it has now been renamed to Ceiling. The goal here is to make the effects fit Bane's pirate lore and ocean theme better, so gameplay wise nothing changes. This is purely a visual and thematic update to make the skill look more aligned with his character. Now moving to Terizla, and this one is enough. As we know, Terizla recently lost his mana cost, which made him much easier to spam abilities with. Because of that extra power, the developers are now balancing him by increasing some cooldowns. His skill 1 cooldown goes from 8.5 seconds to 9.5 to 8.5 seconds, meaning it's slightly slower early game. And his skill 2 cooldown changes from 9 to 4 seconds to 9 to 5 seconds. So the early levels stay mostly the same, but in the late game the cooldown is longer, meaning slightly fewer hammer swings during fights. Next we have Melissa, and she's also getting hit with the nerf. Last week she received buffs that massively improved her mobility and fighting power, especially in the gold lane. So now the developers are dialing it back a little. Her skill 1 dash distance is reduced from 3.5 to 3.1. That means she won't be able to reposition as far as before. The skill 2 damage takes a noticeable hit. It goes down to 175 to 300 with only 50% total physical attack scaling. So overall Melissa will still be mobile, but her burst damage and poke will be weaker compared to last week's version. Now let's talk about revamped Aulus, who is getting some very nice buffs. The developers mainly focused on improving his skill feel and usability. For skill 1, basic attacks will no longer interrupt the channeling. This means you can keep attacking while the skill is active without cancelling it accidentally. And the control immunity state will still trigger, making it much smoother during fights. Next, skill 2 range is increased from 4 to 4.5. The small range buff actually helps Aulus a lot when trading in lane or chasing enemies. Finally, the ultimate visual effects has been optimized, making it clearer and cleaner during big fights. So overall, Aulus should feel much smoother and easier to play after this update. And lastly, we have Harith, who is getting a major adjustments. The developers are repositioning Harith into a late game range damage dealer. So his early game is getting weaker, but his late game scaling becomes much stronger. First, his HP growth is reduced from 176 to 155, making him slightly squishier as the game goes on. Then his skill 1 base damage is lower. The base damage goes from 165 to 290 down to 135 to 235. But the scaling now increases from 60% magic power to 60 to 100% magic power. The explosion damage is also reduced in base numbers, but the scaling jumps up to 120 to 200% magic power. So early damage drops, but with enough items the damage can scale much higher in the late game. Now for skill 2, the shield's magic bonus is reduced from 120% to 80%, meaning less shielding overall. However, the enhanced basic attack damage gets buffed. It changes from 60% magic power scaling to 100% magic power scaling, making Harith's late game basic attacks hit significantly harder. So overall, Harith is shifting from an early game bully into a late game magic damage kit. Now let's move on to the battlefield adjustments. Stallium Scythe is getting adjusted. The developers have reverted the cooldown of its triggered passive, but at the same time they reduce the damage and slow effect to keep it balanced. The Crisis passive cooldown drops from 5 seconds down to just 1.5 seconds, meaning it can trigger much more frequently. But because of that, the extra damage is reduced from 100 plus 100% total magic power down to 75 plus 60% total magic power. And the slow effect also takes a big hit, going from 40% down to only 15%. So basically, Stallium Scythe will now trigger much more often, but each hit will hurt less and slow enemies less. This change makes the item more about consistent poke damage instead of heavy burst and strong slows. There is also a gameplay test going on for the relaunch of the treasure hunt coin event. There is nothing as of now, but once it goes live, we will surely break it down for you. And finally, we have a small bug fix related to Valentina. The developers have optimized the logic of her ultimate when copying certain heroes. Previously, when she copied Alpha or Gatotkacha's ultimate, the transformation would trigger as soon as you pressed the skill button. Now it will only activate when the skill is actually cast, making the interaction much smoother and preventing accidental transformation. Alright, time to check on surveys now. First is an additional surveys for the revamp of Popol and Koopa. Design 1 looks like Popol and Koopa just came back from an Ice Age vacation. Koopa looks massive here and that glowing blue pattern running through his body, like someone plugged a wolf into a lightning socket. Design 2, Popol has horns now. Compared to the first one, this design feels more aggressive and mystical. Honestly, at this point, Koopa is getting cooler with every design. Alright, next we have 3 new skin surveys from Sky Playground theme. Aulus looks like the mysterious ringmaster of this flying carnival, standing there with giant speaker wings, and those bang bang text actually looks cool. Then Quimmy pulls up looking like the happiest troublemaker, holding a gun that looks half candy machine and half science experiment. Overall, the color theme is really bright and fun. And finally, Matilda arrives, floating around a DJ with speakers, wings, and whole concert setup behind her. Looks like these skins will be rivals for 5-on-5 skins. Now it is time to see what you guys actually picked. And for Popol and Koopa, the winner is Design 2. Looks like the Horn Barbarian Popol and the angry glowing wolf Koopa convinced everyone. Then for the Sky Playground theme, Aulus absolutely stole the show. I mean, it makes sense. She literally looked like the boss of the entire theme. If you feel you have better taste, then join our WhatsApp channel and vote for your pick. Alright, let's move on to the other updates. Some new achievements are being added to the game. Looks like they will be part of the All-Star event. Next, we have new Radiant Kit asset for Franco Legend also. Oh, speaking of Franco, the developers have removed the beer mug from Franco's hand as well. Looks like they are trying to make the game more family friendly now. Aulus also get a smooth touch on the Revamp splash art. Then there is a new interactive effect. The first one is Minato doing the flying Raijin Jutsu. After that, we got the tailed beast bow. The other one is the Rasen Shuriken. And finally, we have got Susanoo's arrow. Well, there is also this fishy surprise interactive emote. You know who to throw this. When Naruto is packed with items, like check this one. New action emote for the 4th Hokage. How cool is this? Itachi also has its custom action, pure nostalgia. We also have some new All-Star tags. Right now, Ling and Farsa are on display. Speaking of All-Star, there is also this new banner called the Golden Voyage. And it looks like the new Exorcist series is also getting a banner. A spawn effect for the All-Star event is also here. It's called the Tidal Treasure Hunt Spawn Effect. So there you have it, everything that came with patch note 2.1.64. Now tell me which update excites you the most. Is it the new hero Hirara or the removal of beer from Franco? I feel something must be remain untouched. So that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.